Hey there, hello, and welcome to Old Soul Essentials. I'm Giuseppe, and safe to say, I am in fact an old soul. When I was an infant, newborn, my grandma's best friend, her name was Carol. As soon as she saw me, that's what she said. Before I could talk or do anything, I was probably days old. And when she saw me, she said, "He's an old soul." And so throughout my life, that's been pretty accurate. Of course, when I was a little kid and a teen and 20s, even up to now, I've had moments, plenty of times where act young and foolish. But for the most part, compared to a lot of people, I definitely have often been with my mindset and the way I act. Usually, I'm fairly seem like I'm wise beyond my years, or just ahead of my years. So, hence the name of the channel, Old Soul Essentials. And now that I'm 40, and the the wide range of experiences that I've had throughout my life, uh, I'm definitely at a point where I it's I have the credentials to be able to impart words of wisdom and advice and just share my insights and perspectives. And I think that pretty much anybody, young and old, will be able to find them useful and helpful in some way. This is a new channel for me, and this is video number 1. So, this is the very beginning of this little YouTube journey. Thank you for joining me and tuning in on it. I hope you'll come back and see how things progress. I guess while I'm getting this thing off the ground, keep in mind that I am not a professional. I've not really been doing this very long. I do have some other YouTube channels, but those are all pretty new as well. So I wouldn't say that I have the hang of this whole YouTube thing down. And I definitely fall into the trap of, I don't know if it's a trap, but I get self-conscious when I rewatch these videos of myself, and like I think a lot of people do. And I guess my point is, bear with me as far as if I'm a little mixed up or things aren't totally smooth and perfect. I'd like to try and keep all my videos as raw and uncut and unfiltered as possible. Ideally, I'd like to get everything in the first take, because that's, in my head, that's going to be the most genuine, the most real and honest. But if I go back and watch it and I just can't help the way I look or sound, I'll do another take, second take or third take. Hopefully, not more than that. Anyway, so yeah, so bear with me as far as with my flow. Also, production value is going to be very minimal for the most part. I guess I'm kind of going to be doing the talking head thing. Maybe once in a while I'll walk and talk. Other than that, I'm probably just going to have a very short, little intro with a title, maybe some music to go with that, and that's about it. So, and also I like most anybody, I can be pretty darn forgetful, especially when I'm sitting here in front of a camera and trying to say a handful of specific things in a certain way, in a certain order. So I might often use notes just to help keep me on track. And so I don't have to keep doing take after take after take. Um, like I might go back and watch my video and be like, oh, darn it, I said all these things, but I forgot to say these two things that I really wanted to say. So I want to avoid that. Like I said, I'm probably going to use notes a lot of the time, but I'm not reading a script, just so you know. But yeah, this is a brand new channel. This is the first video. Told you about my grandma's friend, Carol. A few days after I was born, she saw me and she's like, yeah, he's an old soul. And like I said, when I was a kid, I could definitely be stupid and do plenty of dumb things, and I still do that. I'm not I'm not Jesus. I am not a saint by any means. I do feel like I'm a good person, though. I'm gonna try not to say also. I think that's my first one for this video. So yeah, I'm 40 now. I've had definitely had my share of ups and downs in life. My childhood was great in a lot of ways. I definitely got to be a kid and have fun, and I was fairly well provided for. My mom had struggles in my youngest years, but my grandmother was there and she kind of helped make up for that a lot. But fairly quickly, my mom did turn things around for herself, and basically did a full 180. And not going to get too much into that. Maybe I will in some other video, but this video isn't about her. This is just to say, hey, hello, this is the channel. Welcome, thanks for joining. And what you can expect is, words of wisdom, insights, universal types of advice, maybe a little bit of philosophy type stuff here and there. And all of it is going to be very grounded. What I'm not going to do or say is give you a bunch of ideas that are unrealistically positive or unattainable or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to be that I talk about and share with you will be very grounded. It's gonna have a healthy dose of reality. So you can't have the light without the dark. It's going to be very balanced. So anything I share, you will be able to employ it simply, easily. I want to try and keep things simple too. Keep it, whatever you take away, it will be practical, it'll be pragmatic, it'll be effective. We're talking nitty gritty, brass tacks. I'm going to be talking turkey. So stuff that's solid, concrete, that you can really use, that might be obvious, or probably will be obvious to most anyone. But a lot of that stuff, sometimes even when things are obvious, we either just forget about it or we overlook it. Sometimes we know it and we just need a reminder. Sometimes we just need to hear someone else say something and it makes, it jars something loose for us and makes something click. I don't know. I think you get what I'm trying to say though. So for this first video, I want to keep it short and sweet. So I think I've covered all the initial basics. So with all that said, I'm going to get right into the first lesson, so to speak. And in keeping with the theme of this is my first video of this brand new channel, a good idea to always be mindful of is, and you can use this a lot when it comes to starting something. When we're on the precipice, when we're on the cusp, when we're on the threshold of something, when we haven't begun yet, but we're thinking about beginning, we're getting ready to start, we're preparing, we're anticipating, we're in that moment of it hasn't happened yet and it's just about to happen, but it's not gonna happen until we make it happen. And so my point is, if you're thinking about starting something, if you're thinking about beginning something, whether it's writing a song, making a YouTube channel, asking someone out, standing up for yourself with someone that you've been putting it off and you want to be more assertive with something and you just haven't got around to it yet. You haven't started. Starting and beginning is not always, but very often it can be one of the hardest parts about doing anything. Just going from stopped to started to going to moving. Like a car, a vehicle, or it takes more power for the car to go from stopped to just start going. That's where you need that torque. Or like a freight train, the amount of power it takes to get a freight train that's stationary and totally still, to get that massive thing from here to here is huge. It is a major feat. But once it's doing this, it's pretty easy to kind of just keep it going. So the sound bite for you to take away is, an ugly start is better than no start. So even if it's a rocky, horrible, machete, hack your way through the jungle, just hairy, ugly, sketchy start, as long as you start, as long as you begin, maybe not always, there's always exceptions to most rules, but 9 times out of 10, a horrible, terrible, bad, ugly, rocky start is going to be better than no start at all. And like I said, a lot of what I say might seem obvious in retrospect, but sometimes we just need things spelled out for us, myself included. Sometimes we just need things broken down in black and white, in plain English, and it just helps our focus a little bit, I think. It brings us back to like knowing where to look and how to look and what to look for. So yeah, that is today's first little tidbit that you can take and implement every single day of your life, because we're constantly coming up against moments where we have to start something or begin something. And like a band-aid, just get it over with. Get that start Get that process, that experience. It can be nerve-wracking, like I said, if you're about to ask someone out on a date, like just cold walking up to them, or if you're a salesman going door to door, whatever it is, starting your business, anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Just get it started. And once you're over the threshold, it's like that weight isn't on you anymore. That pressure is gone. You've begun. You've started. It's like going off the diving board. There's no more pressure. There's no more tension. Sure, there's probably still going to be some challenges even after you get going, but those obstacles that come after the beginning, a lot of times they pale in comparison to the tension and the weight and the pressure and the stress that we feel when we are on that, when we're standing right at the lip of that threshold and we're about to do something. Because usually we're just thinking about it. We just get in our heads and it's a rabbit hole, and we just go deep down and spiral down into our heads and our thought process, and all those self-critical thoughts, all those self-conscious thoughts, self-doubt and second guessing, all those things they just pop up like weeds when you're standing still at the starting line and you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it and you're not doing it. And every second that you're thinking about it, and I know you can immediately think of 10, 20, 100 situations where this has happened to you, where your mind goes out of control. You start thinking of all the what ifs. You debate, you go back and forth, reasons why you should, reasons why you shouldn't. And what happens is those thoughts kind of turn into a monster. Those thoughts get a life of their own. And once they have a life of their own, once you've created a beast, then it grows bigger and bigger, and it just runs wild. And next thing you know, it's out of your control. And what was really just this simple little thing of kind of just doing it, getting it over with, has now become blown up, blown out of proportion, this giant, daunting, towering, scary obstacle that you can't even face it anymore. You can't even confront it anymore. So whatever it is you want to do, whatever you're about to begin, when you're trying to start something, just get over that threshold. Just push through. You have to punch through. Breaking, it's almost like breaking a cycle or breaking a pattern or stopping a habit. You don't just usually it's not that easy. Cycles, patterns, habits, you usually don't just, it's not like a light switch thing you turn off. Like in practice, it is that simple. You just stop. But the amount of intention and determination and willpower and effort that it takes is, you really have to like bust out like a rocket. You really have to just launch out of that pattern. It's kind of like a rocket ship getting out of the Earth's gravity. You really have to mean business to get out. If you don't get that running, maybe you need a running start. I think you get the idea though. It's got to come at it with full force. Really just punch through. High velocity like a bullet. Just penetrate, pierce, and like I said, like a band-aid, just get it over with. And when you do that, then it's behind you. It's done. You don't have to worry it anymore. You can move on to bigger and better things. you can get on with the rest of your life, and this thing isn't weighing you down anymore, and you're freed up of that, being in that position. So yeah, a bad start is better than no start. Whatever it is you want to start, go start it. And then you can evolve and get better, and it'll get easier and easier. Like, I play guitar, and I've been playing for over 25 years now, and now I'm pretty good. But I wouldn't be able to be as good as I am now had I not gotten that start and that beginning over with. And luckily I had a pretty good start. I didn't really get frustrated at the beginning. And a lot of the times we have good starts. Sometimes when we go to start something, things just fall into place. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes when we go to do something for the first time, it's just a train wreck. But at least you got it going. At least you initiated. So by now I'm probably repeating myself, and you've definitely got the point. Maybe I've been redundant, but I suppose I could even apply this concept to repeating myself. Better to repeat yourself and be redundant than to not get the point across, right? So I think you get the message. If you don't, I don't know what I did wrong. Let me know in the comments if you are still confused, or if you have something to add, or just want to share something that you struggled to start with and you started it, or something that the beginning was just ugly and awful. If you want to share that experience, go ahead and put that in the comments. Not just for me to see, but for other people to see too. You just might inspire someone else with a little snippet of your story. So once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I am Giuseppe, your bona fide card-carrying old soul. I hope you will tune in again for future videos. Thanks again, everybody, and much love to you. Bye.